Okay, so let me take the stage. Anyways, before I welcome you, let me welcome the guests and viewers. So, good evening, viewers. This is the Gist with Laurel. Welcome you all. Happy weekend. So, I'm sorry. Usually, we have this show on my page on IG at I am_Chris Laurel, but due to some issues, I really can't really resolve right now. I'm having it on my guest page, and this is my guest, Pastor Chidi, Pastor John Chidi, sorry, an award-winning writer. So, good evening, Pastor John Chidi. Welcome to the Gist with Laurel.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. So, how's your day now? How's your week been generally?
Oh, well, it's been a fine week. I started it with plenty to do, and I'm ending it with trying to take a break.
Oh, wow, that sounds really sweet. That's like after work vacation.
Yeah, well, I just taking a few days off, see if I can get some rest. Oh, well, and as I told you earlier, I have not succeeded in doing that yet because it's been a full day.
Wow. Sorry about that. But all right, tomorrow is Sunday, right? We can try tomorrow.
Tomorrow is you know that
Oh, wait.
for some of us, Sunday is almost a full day, right?
Yeah, like for some of you, the pastors, I really can balance it. I really didn't know you're a pastor.
All right.
Honestly, I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so tonight we're discussing one of the factors that influences one's personality, environment being one of them, and really a strong one. So
Yeah,
we have our
yeah.
guest, Pastor John Chidi, who's going to throw more light on how our environment can influence us, like influence our decisions, influence our personality, influence our upbringing, or what we turn out to be in the future. So, first of all, Pastor Chidi, okay, so I'm just going to call you Chidi because the pastor thing is kind of short. Wait, what do you pray? Just add the pastor to it.
Just do JC. Just do JC. JC works.
Oh, JC works actually. Okay, so JC, can you explain to us like throw more light on the term environment for us?
Uh, I won't do a dictionary definition if that's fine by you. I'd
It's okay. Like
define I'd define the environment as that tangible and intangible space that surrounds and influences a person. So
okay,
wherever you find yourself at any point in time, there is a tangible and an intangible, that's a physical and a non-physical space around you that impacts upon what you do, what you say, how you think, how you react. That's your environment.
okay. So we're discussing tonight like how environment can influence. So please, can you tell us how strong like an environment can influence one's personality? So let's say
Okay,
like on a scale
I'll
of
give you
1 to 10.
1 to 10. Environment is as strong as 8.5.
Oh wow, that's really strong.
That's how strong it is. I'll give you two physical examples, right? Um,
Okay.
about Abia State, there's a place that is called Power Line, but
Okay.
everybody around there, nobody calls it Power Line. They all call it Power Line. Every one of them, regardless of how
Power line.
educated, yes, regardless of how educated they are, it's what they've grown accustomed to hearing. So everybody just goes Power Line. And first time I heard it, I was like, what's Power Line? And then I had to say to my friend, but it's Power Line. And it took an effort. You see where I'm coming from? It's simply because
Yeah.
it's what they know.
True.
Second example, if you've ever, or if you know anybody who's ever lived in poverty and maybe lived in a face me, I face you kind of apartment, a yard, if you know what that is, you find out that
Yeah,
even
yeah.
when they climb up the social scale, social ladder, and they begin to make a tidy sum, and they are not as poor as they used to be, it's still a battle for them to start thinking in terms of wealth, because they are scared and can't forget the fact that they used to be in that place where they didn't have so much. So that's where you get a person who comes into money, can afford to live in a good house, but they still think I can't afford it. That's a pervasive influence of the environment.
Oh, wow, that's true. Like that's like a really strong one. Like when okay, it's just like most people growing up and they see okay, like most there's some kids I see once when they want to shop for something and they're like, I
Yeah.
want to buy Indomie, and the seller is
Mm-hmm.
like, which one? And I'm like, all right, you just take it, and the kid goes
Yeah,
like,
because everything is in them.
mini, and the kid goes like mini, and I'm like, okay, niggas, what's going on? And
Yeah.
they grew up like that. And I was thinking of something recently. Funny enough, these things are passed down like from generation to generation. Funny enough, because there's
Yeah.
lots of things that I know I was used to, our parents were used to, and I just see kids like little kids of these days, and they're doing the exact same thing. Like I'm like,
Exact
what's
same
going on?
thing.
Where will this ever end? Or where will it change? Like I was expecting that at some point it should change or stop. Like but it's just funny that it just keeps going. Like, people just are stuck with like wrong ideas and they're comfortable in it. Like it's just crazy. Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on.
So
Okay, so
it's
like
what they're used to. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm gonna don't worry, finish because I was just gonna ask something else.
All right, go ahead. Shoot.
Okay. So speaking of environment and there's what are the environmental factors that you think can influence one's behavior?
If I get it correct, if I get what you're saying, you're asking what are the environmental factors that can influence one's behavior.
Yeah, like human behavior.
So the things you hear, and I'm trying to
Okay.
make it as simple as possible. The things you hear, the things you see, and the things that people do around you. Those three.
Okay.
Those three would influence you. And here is the thing about the environment. You can actually come into the place where you're playing out what you have witnessed in your environment without knowing that you're doing it. And it's simply things
Right.
you've heard people say. Yes. They may not even say them to you. They may just say it to themselves, but you hear it, it sinks in, and it just stays in there. Or you see them,
Mm,
or you see, or people do them around you. And that's why, for me as a person, I make conscious efforts as to what I hear, what I see, and what I listen to. Because truth is,
true.
there are things that I know are good for my health. There's some other things that are
Yeah.
junk, they are garbage. Forgive me, but that's what it is. So I make that effort intentionally to guard my space, because I know that if something is in my space, if I don't push it out, then it becomes part and parcel of what I do.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, that's actually true. Like things kids see growing up, things they hear, and that's actually really true. Like I would totally 100% agree with that because there are lots of kids too. Like most times when you actually say they act it out without even know they're acting it out because it's something that's already registered somewhere in their brain or in their head. Like a picture that's already in there. Just like okay, there's sometimes you see a kid like watching an adult do something or say stuff, and maybe in the course of an argument with if their fellow kids, and the next they just say the exact same thing. We don't even know
Say
what the fuck
that
it means.
same
Like
thing. Yeah.
right? Like they don't even know what it means. They just say
But
the exact same thing, and
they
so
just say it. Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah. I mean, I
really
found
crazy.
something, and I don't mean to indict anyone, right? But I realized that quite a number of persons I have come across, they didn't used to use curse words, and then they went to school, and in the school environment, like almost all their friends curse, and then the next thing you hear them. And I mean, I remember asking one person one day, when did you start? And the person was like, what? I said, you just cursed. You used a profanity, and was like, oh, I didn't know. You see that reaction there is epic. I didn't know, but
Yeah,
it's just there.
just very true. It just comes out like it's part of
Yeah,
them already. Like I
yeah.
totally agree with you because okay, when I was growing up, there's this particular curse word my dad was always using. Like especially when he's angry, he just says it. And I grew up and I'm always saying like even just a conversation, like I'm having a conversation when I'm like, you know why? And it's just
Yeah.
there. And I'm like, okay. But I grew up hearing it. And when we upset him and he wants to really like shout at us or something, he
Mm-hmm.
just uses it. But when I was talking to someone, they're like, when did you learn this? I was like, I grew up hearing this from my dad all the time. So it became like part of me.
Yeah.
And most of the
Part of you.
in like in conversation, it's just there. And like that's why I say I totally understand. I totally agree with you 100 when you say what they see, what they hear, and what they used to. Like it's so real. Okay, so I want to ask some
Yeah.
questions. Like, are some personality traits like are they caused by genes? Like, are there some personality traits that say they're caused by genes? Like they're passed down from
Yeah.
parents to your kids.
Yeah.
So they
So
are.
yeah, so the truth is this. Personality traits are powerful things, and
Okay.
they have a lot of influence on what we do as individuals. Okay. And I don't mean to promote anyone at another person's expense, but if you take Tim LaHaye's personality distribution classifications, for instance, then you'd be looking at
Yeah.
cholerics and sanguines and melancholies and phlegmatics.
Yeah.
Okay, there's also the disc personality, which has to do with the dominant persons, the interactive persons, the supportive persons, and the compliant persons. There's another
Yeah.
one that has people classified according to colors: red, blue, green, yellow. Now, all of these things are genetics, right? Some
Yeah.
persons are naturally more subdued than other persons. Some are more organized. Some are
Yeah.
more forceful. In fact, some people are abrasive outrightly. Now, here's the
Okay.
thing, and that's where the case of nature and over nurture or nurture over nature come into play. A
Yeah.
person can have genes that go in a direction left, and they stay in an environment where everything that is emphasized is in the opposite direction right. Don't be surprised that one of two things will happen. One is they begin to have a conflict between what their genes are saying versus what the environment they find themselves in is saying. So it's
True.
either that conflict, or secondly, they just ignore genetics and switch over to environment. I don't know if you know any persons who used to be left-handed when they were smaller, and then everybody kept telling them it's wrong to use the left hand, it's wrong to use the left hand, and they started struggling to use the right hand.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's either they switch totally to the right, or you find them struggling with neither being left-handed nor being right-handed.
True. True. Yeah, so I jump right to personality traits. Eh? So can you like help us like understand the 10 personality traits? Like what the 10 personality traits are?
Could you take that again, please?
Okay, so like when you explain if there are some personality traits that are genetic, yeah. So I was like, can you
Yeah.
help us like understand the 10 personality traits? Like throw more light on the 10
Okay,
personality
so
traits so that
shed
some people
some more light
understand
on
like where
personality traits.
the exactly.
Okay. So let me start with the disc. Okay. The dominant
Yeah.
persons are those who are they are more forceful in nature. They are the people that
Okay.
once you step in a room, you can already see this is the leader. Every other person defers to them. Even if there had been some other leader in the room, when they get in, they want to assert their influence and their position. And sometimes they're not doing it because they want to spite anybody. It's just who they are.
Yeah.
Okay. That's also the person that Tim LaHaye refers to as a choleric. So that's like the alpha in the pack. Okay. Then there are those who are more influential and interactive. They don't want to lord it over you. They would rather win you over to their side. Okay, that's interactive. The other person is a supportive. That's the one that is your friend for life, your BFF. Whatever it is you want done, they would support you. If you get arrested by the police, they would go with you to jail. Okay. And then the compliant person is the one who doesn't want to rock the boat. They just want to maintain the status and ensure that everybody is happy. Now, switch over.
Exactly.
I've already talked about the choleric, right?
Yeah.
The sanguine is the life of the party. Is the one who drops all the jokes, makes everybody laugh, and we all have that kind of friend. Once they come in, it's like you can't stop having fun. As a sanguine.
Yeah,
The melancholy is, yeah, thank you. The melancholy is the more artistic person. They are more introverted, and most times they are creatives. So musicians, writers, painters, most of them fall in that place. Then the phlegmatics, they are also more subdued in terms of their personality than the sanguine and the choleric. They may be a little bit artistic, but they are more into details and organization of things. So they make good planners and good administrators and things along those lines. I don't know if that has helped.
Oh, of course it does. Because right now, when you go to Sangwipa, I felt like you were talking to me. Yeah, I can relate.
Oh, okay. So one thing you need to know, though, one thing everyone should know is that nobody is one particular kind of personality through and through. We are always a blend of personalities. At least you would have two dominant personalities.
Oh wow, that's actually interesting. So it's more like even if someone is like a sanguine, then this person like a sanguine and probably a phlegmatic, but there's usually like one that is higher.
Yeah, one is usually higher. There's a dominant one, there's a subdominant one, and then the other ones.
Okay, wow.
But in your own case, it will be to find out if your sanguine is the prime, or if the sanguine is playing a supporting role to another one.
Well, I think mine is the prime. It's not supporting anything. He just likes to dominate all the time.
Oh, well, I don't know. You should probably take a test to find out.
I just did. Like, this conversation is already a test, and this is more like a confirmation, actually.
Oh, well, okay, it's fine. I'm just saying there is actually a formal test you could take, a personality test that would help you.
Really? So how's that done? Is there a particular place someone needs to go to get the test done, or
you could just do that online. You could just ask Google. Other than that, I could share. I think I have a link I could share with you. I'd have to search for it though, right? It would lead you to.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
So moving on.
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to moving on. Like, how much does someone's DNA influences the person's personality? Like, how much does the DNA influence someone's personality? Like, okay, so
I think
my parents.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so like my parents, me, so they're like, there are some things I know I recognize from my mom. Like there's some actions I do, and I feel like it's something I got from my mom. But I just want to know like how strong is it that someone's DNA can affect someone's personality.
Well, strongly because practically everything you came out with, you inherited from your parents.
Okay.
But I'm looking at you right now.
On their own along the way.
No, some things, of course, that's where of course, I'll get back to what I was trying to say, but yeah, some things develop on their own. That's, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about nature versus nurture.
Okay.
Nature is what you
Okay.
inherited from your parents. Nurture is what you took on either from the environment or by consciously working on yourself to acquire them, right? So, but back to the
Okay.
question you were asking and what I was trying to say. I mean, I'm looking at you right now, and
Yeah.
let's take your eyes and your nose, for instance. I just need to see a picture of your parents and I'll be able to tell who owns which.
Okay.
That's
True.
what you inherited. That's DNA. Again, some people are short-tempered because it runs in their veins. It's DNA. Some other people
Okay.
don't give a hoot because, again, it's DNA. However, it gets interesting because some persons are naturally short-fused, and they then begin to hang around people who have plenty of patience and tolerance. And over time,
Yeah.
they learn to become tolerant. And you find out that they can't remember when they used to be short-tempered.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So,
So that's like the environment having the power to change someone's genetic
yes.
inherited
So
personality.
as powerful as DNA is in determining your personality, where you do what you do, that's your environment, can be even more powerful
Yeah.
than your DNA.
That's actually really beautiful. That's like really, really nice. Okay, so like is it possible for someone to turn out like positive when, like, okay, for instance, you grew up like in a negative environment. So when I mean by negative environment is like all the vices I found in that environment. Talk about robbery, stealing, what have you. But then you grew up,
Yeah.
and like, is it possible for someone to turn out positive in that kind of environment? Like, how possible can that be?
Okay. May I answer with a question?
Oh, it's fine.
Do you think I turned out all right?
Well, for as long as I've known you, yes.
Okay. So I'm sorry I put you on the spot, but the reason I asked that question is early secondary school years, I don't know if it's a privilege or an opportunity, but I grew up in an environment where I was exposed to all manner of persons and vices, and I could have gone in any direction.
Yeah.
I lived in a place where I'm sorry, bear with me. I lived in a place where
I'm sorry.
one person around that just by our house was a dealer in marijuana, weed.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So he was a dealer, and people used to come there to buy, to smoke, and every now and then the police will come to raid him. So it was good opportunity to learn.
Yeah, true. Like, you just don't know to be one of the street guys.
We moved from that place and went to another place where almost all the young men in that place were either thugs or they were involved in 419, and most of the girls were runs
Wow.
girls.
Okay. Wow.
So
Okay.
if it's about environment, so I was exposed to all of that. However, God helped me, and I know your platform may not be for preaching, and try not to, but I'm saying God helped me because somehow He kept reminding me and making me recognize that there is a path I'm supposed to follow, and that wasn't it.
That's beautiful. So, am I going to say, aside the
So
fact that
you
God
can,
helped
what
you,
I'm
am I
saying in
going to say,
essence is you can be exposed to all sorts of environment, the place of a decision, and then the place of maybe an older person who keeps reminding you of who you really ought to be are two key things that can help you.
yeah.
And then you can look at the people and say to yourself, I don't want to end up like this. And that can also become a motivator to seek to be something different and better.
Oh wow, that's really strong. So I was gonna say that. So that part, like I said, it's God's help. Decision also played a good role too.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's
And having
beautiful.
somebody
Okay.
to whom you are accountable, somebody that can say to you, "Hey, stop," is also a very strong
True.
factor.
That's nice. That's beautiful. Okay, so I have one question. Like, how does the environment
Yeah.
affect one's like how does the environment affect a human behavioral psychology? Like, how does the
How
environment
does
affect human behavior
environment
psychology?
affect human behavior psychology, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so again, at the risk of going back to what we already said,
Okay.
let's say you work in a place where everybody says, um, give me a second.
That's fine. Take
Give
your
me a
time.
second. No, I'm not saying give me a second. I'm saying you work in an environment where everybody says, give me a second.
Oh, okay.
And when you came to that place, it wasn't your concept, it wasn't part of your slangs, right? It wasn't a cliche you used. Give me a second. I guarantee you that you only need to be in that place for about 2-3 weeks. And give me a second will become part of your vocabulary. And by the time
I
you're there for like
honestly, I
5 weeks, okay, you can relate, right?
yeah. Okay, so I have a funny gist. I have a friend who came to see us like about a week ago. So usually when you are
Okay.
interacting with him, he'll be like, I swear. And all of a sudden, like unconsciously, or we're having a conversation, next thing I just says, I swear, and I just realized then now.
You
What?
were so, so you had suddenly become a sounding board, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did I even get to my head?
Yeah. So that's how powerful the environment can be. Um, all of us as human beings, we're like sieves. We're like sponges. We're just soaking stuff in. And that's why I said, if you
Yeah.
don't make a conscious effort to decide what comes in, then everything goes in. And one day you find yourself giving out something that naturally is not you. And you're wondering, where did that come from? Right?
Okay,
So
true.
that's how environment can affect our psychology. A person who didn't used to be fearful stays amongst people who are always fearful. And a short while later, they become fearful. A person who was always weak suddenly begins to associate with people who are courageous and who are brave. And one day you see them doing
Yeah.
brave things that they never ever imagined they could do. A person who's always
True.
thinking poverty, we don't have money, we can't do this, there's no cash, begins to mix and stay in a place where people are always thinking big money and thinking big dreams and big projects. And suddenly the person is talking about how they want to do something on Banana Island, and you're asking, where did that come from? It just rubbed off on them. That's how powerful environment is. It
Oh,
rubs off
wow.
on you.
That's really
Whether it is positive or negative, it rubs off on
yeah, true. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my god, I feel like I'm taking your time. I'm supposed to take just 30 minutes of your time, but if you leave me, I'll just go on and on because I'm totally honestly enjoying this conversation.
you. It's all right.
Okay,
It's
for those who are
okay.
just
I'm glad.
joining in, for those who are just joining in, this is the gist with Laurel, and I'm sorry, unfortunately, we are already wrapping it up. I'm sorry you came in late. And this is our guest, John Chidi, Pastor John Chidi, Pastor JC. So, but if you missed out on the entire fun and lecture and You can always catch up on his IGTV, maybe probably for a while, or my own IGTV on I am underscore Chris Laurel. And there's also a link to my YouTube channel on my bio when you follow me. Okay. So Pastor JC or JC, this is the way it was really wonderful. Like, if you me, trust me, I will want this to go on and on. But it's just 30 minutes and I'm already far behind time. So I really can't thank you enough for coming on the show tonight. Thank you for coming on Just with Laurel. Thank you for, trust me, I learned a lot myself. I don't know about others, but I learned a lot tonight. And I think I'm going to go and take my personality test just to be sure.
Yeah,
so let me know
I would have posted here. Say that again, please.
I say I'll just take the test so that I'll be sure who I'm going to blame for some kind of action, whether my mom or my dad. And let me know if I've been blaming the wrong person.
Oh, well, if you ask me, don't blame them, blame you. Right?
Okay. You want to post the link here? That would be beautiful for those who are online.
The thing is, if I post it here, you can't access it. You know, this is Instagram.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know. Like, you can post for them, probably find a way to copy, but you can send to my DM too, or like on WhatsApp.
Sure. No issue. So I'll post here via this feed somewhere, and then in the comment section, I'll just drop it there, and then I'll also send to you, right?
Okay, so if you're online, what he's going to post now is a link to check, like a personality check, which is, I feel it's very important. You just know your personality traits, so that you know when you're acting out of place, you probably know why you're doing some kind of things you do. It's really important you have all of this, like, in check, or you have all
so you know why.
About you.
Excellent. Yeah. So you know why, and then you can also be able to decide where you need to make some improvements and adjustments, right? But one thing I must ask is, when you take the test, answer truthfully. Don't answer with who you hope to become. Answer based on who you are at the moment.
Okay. Yes, it's also like a truth serum. So be honest to yourself to help you improve, because you can improve or start off on a distasteful note. So be honest, because it's just going to help you improve. By the way, like, no one is perfect. So you only know what you want to change. You can know what in areas, like you said, areas you need to improve on, areas you need to work on. It's all for your own good. Just going to help you grow.
Yeah.
And you enjoy the future you. So this is the time to arrange the future you and make the future you to who you want the future you to become, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so thank you so much, JC, once more for joining, coming live on the Just with Laurel tonight. So for viewers who are here, usually, like I said, this show runs every Saturday by 9 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on I am underscore Chris Laurel live on Instagram. So we have a lot of exciting topics every Saturday, and we have wonderful guests like JC, who just come and enlightens us. Because trust me, I didn't even know I could take a personality test, but I just found out tonight. So you can learn lots of things, to even get more knowledge of things you already know. I knew about like the temperaments, but not like the way you more like on them tonight. So you learn every day, you grow every day. These are things that help you grow. So join us every Saturday, 9 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. live on Instagram on I am underscore Chris Laurel for lots of enlightening, educative, and interactive. We also have fun too. Like, they will have to share experience. We have fun too. But you also learn by having fun. So thank you so much for coming on Just Laurel tonight once more. I just can't myself. So see you guys same time next week Saturday. I remain your humble host, Chris Laurel. Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.